Number 3 coming at you live from the Discord itself, the FGC Dojo. I'm joined here by my wonderful associate and longtime partner Gadavrek. We're gonna talk to you a lot about today, and we got a lot to discuss. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So very first point of topic, bro. Netcode once again. This is a topic that's never gonna finish. What are your thoughts on netcode, Gat?
It's definitely just connectivity in general is something that every game has to strive to get better and better. And ironically, Guilty Gear Strive is one of the first games from Arc System Works, the developer we love that made Blaze Blue, Guilty Gear, Dragon Ball Fighters, etc., etc. It's their first game on launch that's having the rollback netcode, and it just speaking of rollback in general, them having this big of a step between the delay-based netcode that we're so used with Dragon Ball Fighters and going to rollback netcode, not only it's gonna like, let's say you only play against people on the East Coast or you only fight against people on the West Coast because you want the best connection, you want to be pretty much offline level of quality. Uh, it's gonna be a huge jump for not only these local like near each other, like you're gonna experience no delay at all if you like in the West Coast or East Coast. It's also gonna help with globalization. If you want to fight somebody like me that's on the other side of the planet, I'm from South America, you're just gonna have such a better time playing against me, and it's gonna feel like it's the same thing. And you can fight like pros all the way over in Japan, and it's gonna feel like you're both in the same country, and it's just gonna be a great step towards just having more people join in and having the FGC be less segregated and everybody be able to play each other. It's gonna be amazing to see.
Dude, you're right about that, man. Like you said, it's just gonna be about localization. Being able to expand your local, not even your local scene, but also outward and beyond. Important. Of course, this topic came up once again with the release of Virtual Fighter that just came out free on PlayStation 4. Go ahead and cop it and try it out. It's a great video game, and it was amazing back in the arcades, and I heard it's even better now. But big thing about it is that they do not have rollback netcode, which is like the crowning netcode for all fighting games. They have this new thing called Absorb. So I don't know the very fine details about it, but I do know that it's supposed to be a little bit better than Delay, in that it is a server between the players. Like I said, I don't know the fine details, but people are in uproar. They said this isn't rollback. It's not as good. I mean, I've heard it's better than Delay, but chances of it being better than rollback are low. And so people are really pissed. People are tired of it. And then the community, the virtual fighter community, the old FGC boomers that are still into the game, were fighting with the players that wanted rollback. Like on Twitter, there's a little bit of an uproar where they're like, "You're not even gonna play the game. Why are you talking smack and all this stuff?" And they didn't even say anything in those regards. They just said, "Man, we want better connectivity." Because personally, rollback is incredibly important. I'm lucky to be down here in the South in Texas, where there's a lot of players here around my area. But dude, could you imagine being somewhere like in middle America, middle United States, or like our boy Gad here over in Brazil? It's gonna be nearly impossible to find any good connectivity or any good matches for that matter. Downright impossible. And that's why it's like mad important, and why we're having this conversation right now. Dude, we gotta get connectivity better. And it's not even just in the fighting game too. People are always talking about how important servers are.
Yeah, definitely.
Back with the release of Modern Warfare, or I believe in Black Ops as well, there was a big talk about tick rate. The rate and speed of which of which your information is being sent out to the server. And people were really mad about it. Private matches weren't being held because of how bad the tick rate was in private matches, and the competitive scene took a slight hit from it. Of course, it's Call of Duty. That thing's big, so it's gonna get bigger even then. But at the same time, people are still talking about it. I know for a fact back in For Honor, dedicated servers. We want dedicated servers. It's the same thing that we're having with the rollback conversation. We want rollback. We had the For Honor community. We want dedicated servers. It's the exact same thing. It's not just fighting games. Connectivity is important in all of video games.
Yeah, definitely agree with that point. Like, there's so many different games that have tackled the connectivity issue in many different ways. One of the games that I love to death called Team Fortress 2. It has a lot of issues. It's a 13-year-old game and it released back in 2007 October. So it's an old game and it has a lot of issues because of it. And because of that, the game actually recommends that you, instead of playing normally, you go to the console command and you put interp command that pretty much adds extra delay so the game feels smoother. Like, imagine playing Dragon Ball Fighters and you put 10 more frames of delay just so the game feels smoother. You see, like, there's so many different workarounds that you have to do just to have a better connection. And definitely with rollback, if you don't know what rollback means, um, it basically means that whenever you're fighting the opponent, instead of you pressing the button, it being delayed, and then after exact how many frames, like in Dragon Ball Fighters, you usually, if you're nearby each other, they have like 2 or 1, up to 3 maybe frames of delay, and then after those frames pass, your input goes through. With rollback, instead of using that delay base, you instead of every time you press a button, it rolls back into the previous game state, so everything always works at the same time. It's kind of difficult to explain in like just measly words, but it's not the easiest way to understand is that it's gonna pretty much not have any delay on it. It's rarely gonna have any delay, and it still doesn't help for people that don't use Ethernet cables. There's a whole other topic that we can talk about. It's just playing on Wi-Fi versus playing on an Ethernet. It's a tale as old as time. You should always try and have an Ethernet cable. I've played a lot of Guilty Gear X and Core, which is one of the Arc System games that got rollback netcode. It was pretty much a beta test for Guilty Gear Strive's rollback netcode. They're pretty much testing how is it going to feel, and a lot of times found a player that didn't have the best connection, not because he was far away from me, but because he had Wi-Fi instead of Ethernet, and it kept like spiking up and down, and you could feel like it sometimes could be even worse than the delay-based netcode because the game will actually literally roll back to a previous state. You literally feel like you had a deja vu. The game went forward and then went back just because of that person's connection wasn't the greatest. And that doesn't mean that rollback is going to be the end all be all. We still have to strive to look for better types of connection. And one day we'll pretty much have non-existent lag go through pretty much like online. But until then, we're stuck with this, which is obviously the best for people that have the best connection possible. You're always going to have the greatest matches. I find a lot of people here in the dojo Discord and pretty much always have incredible connections because my connection's pretty good. It's like fucking 300 megabyte upload or something like that. But it doesn't feel jumping up and down. Of course, it is still native like 5 to 4 frame delay, but it is not as bad as having a Wi-Fi connection where you're playing at 3 and suddenly it goes up to 9 or something like that.
Yeah, dude, like you said, it's super important not just to have good connectivity, but also, I mean, just to have better netcode as well. Both of these are go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. And
Yeah,
that's why
definitely.
the techie community was having a field day with the fact that they tell you if they're on Wi-Fi or on Ethernet. So like the
You gotta
matches
shame
comes
them,
up,
publicly shame them.
dude. Yeah, you get publicly shamed, and it's the greatest because I remember there was a scrub quotes tweet over on at scrub quotes, man, the great Twitter page. Follow that page. It's amazing. And this person was like, it was a Reddit post where they have ruined Tekken for me. Nobody is playing against me because of my Wi-Fi connectivity. I can't play the game. And, of course, that sucks for this fine gentleman. And unfortunately, it's not available for everybody. But at the end of the day, it's like these people are wanting to play a really solid match. Fighting games, it's stupid obvious when you're lagging, dude. I mean, of course, on other games as well, but it's the one-on-one. It's the any split second of lag, there goes around maybe even the set. And it's a really bad feeling whenever you get this sick punish and then you drop half of the combo because of a lag spike or because of whatever, and then they get up and just punish you because you missed the combo. It is the worst feeling in the world, and I gotta say, it's one of my least favorite things about fighting games.
Yeah,
Just
and
having to
fighting games are
either.
like everything just you get open up on defense once. There goes like 70% of your health if the opponent's capable enough. If in Strive, you can die from any hit if you don't have your burst active. So everything matters. Like every little pixel of reaction matters. So every possible way of delaying that, it's better for you. Like let's say you're playing a shooting game like Call of Duty, Blood of Battlefield, Overwatch, whatever you play, Fortnite. The reaction doesn't matter as much. Of course, like you're playing Fortnite, let's say one of the more popular games. You see somebody all the way out in the field, and you see him, and he sees you. It's important for you to react and like take cover, shoot him first, or whatever the hell. But in fighting games, the experience is a lot different. Every time you get hit is because you got opened up or you press the wrong button in the middle of neutral. So having that time, extra time to react, is a lot more important in that case because you are able to block or you're able to do a DP in middle of the air, or like Dragon Ball Fighters, you have time to react to the super dash. You JL that super dash and get a full combo in the air, punishing them. So it's a lot more important in fighting games more than other games to have that the best netcode possible, so you get more games that way.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're 100% right. It's all about having a solid experience, right? You can't even play the game if you can't play it right at the end of the day. So, going back on to the next topic of conversation, we got fighters. Twitter, a known leaker has leaked that the patch for a new patch for fighters is coming in the woodworks. We don't know anything about it. It's just a leak. It's not even confirmed. None of that. But we want to speculate. We want to talk about it. What are the things we want to see on the patch and all of that good stuff. So, man, I gotta say, Fighters has come a long way, and it's got a ways to go. But at the end of the day, I think Fighters is in a pretty solid spot right now. A lot of the strong characters are, of course, strong, but they're not unbeatable. Like we even here locally in the Discord, we do have some supposedly the lowest tier characters from a lot of people with Videl. We've had a player that's won multiple tournaments with her, and it's overall in a really solid place. I gotta say, FGC Boomer Moment's gotta come out, man. Y'all kids, complain about balancing issues and all of this stuff in a 3v3 fighting game. Man, I remember day one MVC3. Oh my god, that was the worst experience. And I mean, it's still, MVC3 follows the path of like, if everything's broke, nothing is, which is in and of itself a decent design choice. But man, it's come a long way. Street Fighter 5 on release day, dude. Jesus, Fighters is in such a spot where any character in the roster could have an amazing tournament showing, and I think that's what's important at the end of the day. For some reason, Tekken's going the other way around. Day one Tekken Faded Retribution. So back in the arcade one, man, Brian and Jin, these stoners were going crazy. It was insane. So whenever we finally got Tekken 7 on console, it already had some pretty good patching and all that good stuff. So, but Fighters is coming into the end of its life, and we want to talk about what we want to see. So, Gab, what do you want to see coming up in this new patch, if we get one?
Yeah, just to add to what you're saying, the update was leaked because the Steam database got an update to it for Fighters. So it is confirmed that something's gonna happen. We just don't know the size of it. Like it could be like, oh, we fixed the bug where against UI Goku, if he does the Kamehameha, the backwards Kamehameha, and you vanish, you appear in front of him, which is just stupid and should have been fixed a long time ago. That's a bug that has been in the game for quite a time. Or some of the bugs where characters just stand still and etc. It could be just bug fixes, but of course we want to see the patch notes. We want to see those low tier quote unquote characters jump up in the tier list and make more appearances in tournament. Like let's say you want to see more Frieza, you want to see more Zamasu, you want to see more Nappa, more Under 16. For one, you need the player that wants to put in the time to those characters, and two, you could always go with some updates to them. Like you can make Ender 16 better in some ways. So it's like players that play Ender 16 know what he needs to be buffed. Like his normals need to have more faster jabs, etc. Like that. I personally just want to see those characters that have been in the meta for a long while get nerfed, and characters that have been out of the meta go up. So we see more of them. like be able to show more of a spectacle. Like, let's go back all the way to season one. We had characters like Android 16 and Super Saiyan Goku. Those two characters dominated. They were pretty much some of the best characters in the game back then. Android 16 got shot on season 2 and he went all the way down the tier list. Not a lot of people kept playing him. We still have players like Lucar that still play him and perform very well. And then Super Saiyan Goku on season 3, he got replaced because, the best part about Super Saiyan Goku back in the day, he was one of two beam assists. You had Super Saiyan Goku and you had Goku Black. With the introduction of all the three assists, you had A, B, and C. A lot of characters also got beam assist, and because of that, Super Saiyan Goku went down. But then they decided to shoot him even further and just remove his classic 2M, his only low in his arsenal. It made it so slow, it just felt awkward to play. And it's because of that, a lot of people just dropped him because he was a character that only had one low and it was a 2M. And you made it that worse. Like, what's the point of playing him anymore if I'm not going to be able to open people up? And because there's not a lot of people playing him right now.
Man,
So
my man
what
took an arrow to the knee, bro. He's never the
definitely
same.
2014 Skyrim reference. Anyways, what I would love to see is that those characters were in the meta and they went back down. Now you have characters like Gotenks, you have Kibu. Kibu is also in the meta, so he doesn't really count. But you have Gotenks, Z-Broly. Z-Broly, like on season 1 and 2, where fuzzies were a thing, he was dangerous to play, to say the least. He was still strong. He had armor and he had all that stuff, but he was much more weaker when he was on defense because he was so easy to open up because he had fuzzes and things of the sorts. And you have other characters like Angel 21, who got up in the meta too because more people started playing her, base Vegeta, base Goku, etc., etc. And what I would like to see is that those characters don't really like lose relevancy, but they get undertuned, and characters that don't get see a lot of play, like let's say Zamasu or Frieza, they get more options for them, so they can succeed more. And then we see more of those characters, not only in tournaments and things of the sort. See pro players playing those characters because pro players can make those characters work right now. But just seeing more of those players, just in the online environment, more people want to play them because they're strong and things of the sort. So that's what I want to see from fighters. Is just make the meta, like everybody's tired of seeing Gotenks, Z Broly, UI Goku every single match, and people want to see more of these underrated characters. So that's my opinion on what I want on this next update.
Hell yeah, dude. Like you said, bro, we got to get the switch up on the meta, man. We're tired of seeing the same things over and over and over again. And of course, we don't know exactly what's going to go on because we have had online tournaments, but on delay based. Players aren't able to get their good stuff out. Maybe the even frame tight setups, etc., etc. We have had a little bit of a struggle moving the meta forward because of staying up. Because of staying online, because of delay based netcode, unfortunately. So, but yeah, man, I'm excited for it. I really, like you said, want to see a switch up on the meta, see what characters are gonna get up and later, get up and go, see what more characters are gonna show up. Our boy Thunder's dropping some Masu. We did not have a good time over in Dojocast 12. He said he's taking a long break. So, it's a struggle. It's a struggle playing him.
Remember season 2 where GT Goku was just everywhere. Every match, GT Goku.
Dude, yeah, man. People were talking about banning him, which was, in my opinion, a drastic idea. But he was super, super intertwined with the meta. Every top player had to play a GT. But funnily enough, at most of the major events, GT was, up there. Like, almost everybody had him. But Goku, SSJ Goku was up there as well. Sometimes even passing the amount of GT players there was, like in top 8, top 16s. So it was that guy was a silent killer of the time. And then like you said, they shot him. They shot his leg. Poor Sap, never walked again. So
back in the day, you always had GT Goku, Yamcha, Super Saiyan Goku. You always see like those three characters. Those, in my opinion, were the most prominent in season 2, and Yamcha and Super Saiyan Goku also season 1. So those three characters were the one that I feel like they most deserved being nerfed. Like Yamcha got the nerf where like if you whiff, you have like a long time recovery, so his neutral got a bit worse. But he's still a good character, but it definitely made him less usable and opened up ways for other characters. Like one of the characters that I love that is getting a lot of traction now is actually TN. You don't see a lot of TN because one, the character's kind of bland, doesn't have anything special, but two, he wasn't that good back in the day, and now he's just an all-around great character, and you're seeing a lot of more people playing him, and I like to see that. That character is strong. He has a lot of tools, and he's fun to watch.
Dude, Bear just showed up and like shoved his way into the into the podcast. Did you see him? He slapped himself right in front of our boy Get while he was talking. Poor sad. But yes, we got our boy Bear showing up, showing us what's good. Hey, what's up, Bear? How's it going?
It is going good, buddy. Sorry to barge in like that. You know, bears be barging in places, but hope everybody's doing good. Doing good. I heard we were talking about some patch notes, patch stuff. About sound about right?
Yeah, right now we're talking about, fighters, where it's come from, where it's gonna go, and potential patch coming up in the woodwork next to the Twitter place. And of course, we're also gonna talk talk about maybe even a Fighters 2. Are we gonna get a Fighters 2? What we'd like to see, etc., etc. So, right now, Gat was talking about the meta where it was how Yamcha was eating dirt, or how Yamcha was super good back in season 2. Yamcha, Super Saiyan with Goku at GT season 2, very popular, always in a team. Couldn't leave home without him.
I can't disagree with that either.
Yeah, and now you have these new characters that are just popping up, and a lot of people are playing them. Like you got for some examples, you got Jiren, you got Tien, you got Krillin, you got Blue Vegeta, and also I see a lot more Trunks that I see back in the day. Trunks is always popular because Trunks is a popular character, but you didn't see a lot of people playing him. But nowadays I see a lot more of Trunks, and that's good. That character is definitely very strong, especially with the addition of Limit Break. He has jumped up a lot of popularity.
Somebody else I think is on the up and coming trend that might be a dojo trend that I'm noticing, but like a lot of people are picking up Beerus nowadays. Like, I don't know what it is. He's a super cool character, don't get me wrong, but like he has just shot from basically relative obscurity to like I am seeing him pretty frequently now. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I definitely agree with that. That character has just jumped up in popularity. I think it was mostly because the pro players picking him up and showing what this character is capable of. Every block string you get into, he can get plus frames easily if he has bar, and he can set up some sort of mix. So that character is definitely just stupid strong if you have a lot of bar to work off with.
Yeah, man, like you said, there's been a lot of different characters showing up over and over again, and that's in my opinion thanks to the state of the game and where it is right now. It's in a really good place where, any character, if you put some time into him, you show him some love, could go far. The game isn't like, oh, you will never beat a UI with X character. You will never beat a top character here with this character. And another thing amazing about it is, in a lot of these tier lists that we see characters showing drastic change in positions. We see Yamcha sometimes in the mid tier, sometimes a little bit on the higher tier. And then we had our boy over in Spain say he was straight garbage and the worst character in the game. So I
think we'll all pull up in last or something like that.
Yeah. So it's an amazing trend that these people, or that the community, the pro players, the high level players are always like, yeah, but this character could actually go here, or this character goes there, or this character goes there, because we don't know because of how good the meta is.
And speaking of how good the meta is, something that goes without saying a lot is I don't see any DBFZ tier lists that come out these days that go below A tier. Like, that says a lot about where the game is at too, balance-wise, because that means we got tons of strong characters and tons of potential opportunities for new placements and movements within the tier lists themselves.
Yeah, man. And so Fighters is coming up onto the end of his life. We got more games coming in, more fighting games coming in. Patches have been far and few for Fighters. No new characters are up on the roadmap right now for Fighters. But what about Fighters 2? What are y'all's thoughts on it? What do y'all want to see changed? What big things do you guys want to see happen in Fighters 2?
That's a big question. Like, Fighters 2, like, definitely a lot of potential because, like, they get to more or less take the characters back to the drawing board and change up some stuff if they want, or leave them exactly the same. So, like, I don't know. I think that a big thing for me, like, and my opinion will shift drastically depending on how much I get into Guilty Gear Strive or not, and how that particular game's matchup system and how it feels works for me. will influence what I would want out of Fighters 2, because like you were saying right now, like there's no like you cannot pick X character against UI Goku, and that might be something that could have a place in a Fighters 2, if it could be implemented correctly, and to kind of like go back to maybe that more meaningful, like you, or not meaningful, but more nuanced tier list type, where we actually have like the hard data and numbers to say like this matchup is good, this matchup is bad, and just every in between. So I think something like that would be on my list for Fighters 2, if and that opinion's open to change. And then I don't know. I don't. It's really hard to say because it's just like it's such a big question. So maybe I'll get some ideas from you guys. Let me hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah, I definitely have some ideas for fighters too. I put them like in four, not tiers, but like four ideas that I have. For one, I would love to see more system changes. By system changes, I mean Super Dash. Super Dash is very controversial in Dragon Ball Fighters, and I wish it got changed a little bit because number one, it's inconsistent and unreliable a lot of times, and it's a weird mechanic. Like other games have homing dashes, but Dragon Ball Fighter Super Dash just doesn't feel the same way. How
Isn't
many
there
times have you? Well, go ahead.
isn't there like a Twitter page on like sus super dashes where they just do the
That's
funniest
probably is.
some of the funniest trackings, like you said, it's super inconsistent. They do some figure eights happening. It's super funny looking.
Yeah,
I've
I
seen some
thought.
wild super dashes in my time.
Yeah, I was fighting Hamrano yesterday, our dojo homie, and there was a moment of like 20 seconds where I super dashed to him. He was up in the air, and then my super dash whiffed, and I went all the way up, and then he super dashed, and he whiffed too, and I super dashed, and we just kept going. It was just funny as hell, but in a competitive game, that's kind of whack how it doesn't actually home in, and sometimes it just works weirdly. And there's a lot of interactions with Super Dash. It's kind of whack sometimes how it works. So I wish there were some system changes. There's a lot of different system changes I would like to see reworked. Like one of the things that I found the most weird about some combos work. You guys should know that every combo, every button in Dragon Ball FighterZ, it can lead to an auto combo. If you press medium auto combo, a lot of times there's a smash on the middle of it. It usually goes a 5M to M, and then it does a medium special, and it calls a smash. With those smashes, they actually cause a wall bounce instead of a wall stick, and because that, like a lot of weird combos can happen because of it, and it's just kind of inconsistent. And I would like to see that change too, but that's just my opinion. And there's a lot of system changes I'd like to see. Number two, what I'd like to see is also just character changes in general, because I've played Blaze Blue since the release Calamity Trigger. So I played every single Blaze Blue game, and I played the same character in every Blaze Blue game. And you can feel the difference on each instance of the character. Each time the new game release, he got one or two extra moves. I always played Ragna, and every time new Blaze Blue release, he got a new move to one, keep up with the meta and stay relevant, and two, just add more variety to him and have more tools. Just give every character a new move. Like it's Dragon Ball, like there's always moves to steal from. They can always just add a new move. You see UI Goku or Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, two of the newest characters, they have so many moves, so many different tools. And you look back at like let's say Super Saiyan Vegeta, he doesn't have that many moves. You have and Super Saiyan Goku doesn't have that many moves. You see Android 16, he pretty much just has grabs, and he has a Hell's Heat, which is a plus frames move. I'd like to see some of these characters get new moves, new stuff they can work with. And input's not a problem because Dragon Ball FighterZ has very simple inputs, so they can always just add either 2-2 or half circle or whatever they want to do. And third, I'd like to see more characters. I think everybody wants to see more characters in Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball has so many different characters. Like a lot of people want to see Super Buu. I want to see a Turles. People want to see Raditz, etc., etc. There's so many characters. You could add Topo. You can add the dogs, Bergamo, and whoever else, the Dispo. There's so many characters they can add, and it would look so awesome and fight it, and so much fun to play. And lastly, it's kind of biased, but I would like to see them add for each character a new costume instead of colors, because we have 16 colors for every character, I believe. Because of 12, they come from the game in 4 seasonal ones, and some characters have special, like Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta have the manga variations. But I think they could go with adding costumes. Videl, she kind of has a costume. She has the pigtails and short hair. I think every character could be added with a costume. Like I say, Goku, you could add Yard Track Goku. For Blue Goku, you could add the Whiskey Goku, and all the characters. I feel like off the top of my head, like at least 50% of the characters you can add a new costume. For Bardock, you could add the Dragon Ball Super costume Bardock. For Krillin, you could use the Bio Broly movie Krillin, and it just goes on and on. I just think every character should and could have a variation. One of the ones I wish would show up, or would actually show up, because I actually really love the variations, is for both Vegeta and Gogeta, just add the Super Saiyan color hair, because that is my favorite for those fusions. But that's pretty much what I would like to see from Dragon Ball Fighters 2.
I can't disagree with any of that. That all sounds absolutely fantastic. Because yeah, I didn't even think about like cosmetic changes, but big agree on the skins. Like I recently picked up Tekken 7, and I'm loving the fact that when I'm, I still fight bots. I'll hold that. I still fight bots. I'm not ready for people. But, like, I love that when I go into these, like, treasure matches, I can get a new cosmetic, and then suddenly Julia just has a completely new look and feel. Like, I got, like, a beach Julia. I got, like, a demon Julia. I got, like, there's just the sky's the limit, and I would definitely like to see some of that in Dragon Ball, considering how creative some of the designs have been in Dragon Ball. Like, I was thinking about it the other day. I would love to play Whiskey Goku or Whis colored Saiyan Armor's Blue Vegeta. That would be so great. Like just
Small little additions. Even any character can have a new costume. Just there's even some characters can have multiple costumes. Like Super Saiyan Goku was saying, he can have Yardrat Goku, which I just think the drip is too much. And then you could add the GT variation of Goku where he has the blue gi. I think that one looks amazing, and it's not represented well enough in game, so I wish to see that one too. Gohan could have Piccolo clothes, etc. etc. I could spend the whole stream here just talking about those costumes, but I definitely agree that Tekken, it definitely hit the nail. I think it was like Tekken 4 where they added costumes, and it definitely hit the nail on adding new cosmetics. Just add so much more character to your player, like as an art form. Like you see that kind of color, you see that's kind of the player you're gonna see. Some, like, let's say Goichi, if they added costumes to Dragon Ball FighterZ, you see, oh, that's a Goichi costume. Like Goichi likes those kinds of costumes, and it just adds more character to the player, and I would love to see that.
Yeah, unfortunately with Arxis, they're a big fan of like going the cheap way out. Arxis is notoriously known for not changing the costume because of how much work they go into the art. The 2.5D. Like, I gotta say, Fighters looks amazing. They did a great work making that game from the manga, from the anime, over to a video game. Looks, honestly, hands down the best Dragon Ball Z game I've ever seen, personally. And they are very well at, making art. Like, Guilty Gear looks great. It looks a little bit funny at times when it's full 3D, but when you're looking at it from where you're supposed to look at it, from the front of the screen with the player view player, it looks amazing. And with Fighters 2, I honestly want to see more of that amazing art, but on the stage side, bro. I'm sick and tired of looking at the Cell Games Arena every tournament, bro. I do
Bro,
love
you're the one that plays on Supreme Kai. Come on, bro.
I know, but that's why, bro. I love my Supreme Kai. But that's what I'm saying is, I want to see more stage movement, more movement on the stage, more actually, maybe even a stage transition, wall breaks like Guilty Gear has and stuff like that.
We already have stage transitions a little bit.
I would like better stage transitions.
Yeah.
I would like to go from a cool map to a cool map, not cool map to wasteland, cool map to rocky field, like cool map to destroyed West City. Like definitely more variation.
Yeah, it doesn't. I wouldn't even consider those stage transitions because how do they look? You just boom, big screen cover, big flash covers the whole screen. You don't know what's happening, and then you just show up on another stage. That's whack. Fair. That is whack, bro. Have you guys seen Budokai? Have you guys seen Budokai Tenkaichi? Where these guys are slamming each other everywhere?
Destroyed, and then you just like in the middle of rocks in the middle of a volcano. It's crazy.
Yeah, you just like, all right, well, this place is over. Let's head up to space and fight or whatever. And that's what I want to see. I want to see more of these like amazing stage transitions. Amazing, we see all of these crazy power plays and power moves, planet destroyers, universe destroyers, all that good stuff, but we can't see them break a rock or in the Cell games, the stage stays relatively the same. I mean, it does crack and break a little bit around, but I wanted to see a little bit more exaggerated. But then again, that goes over to the conversation of player recognition versus fighter recognition. Who's gonna actually gain from that? Personally, if I'm fighting and I see that, I'm gonna be mad hyped.
I have a bit
Yeah.
of a. I'm sorry.
Well, like, to give credit where credit is due, though, like, they do a good job. Like, if you look, like, when you reflect a key blast, that key blast gets reflected into the background, and it does destroy a portion of the background. But I 100% agree with Kite that they could have done just put a little bit more pizzazz on it. Like, make it actually feel like you're really, truly interacting and impacting the environment that you're fighting in, and it would just take it to the next level. Or, like, even if they did something, like, more simple, like, stage transition wise, like, I'm gonna pull on Tekken again, like where I kick Cell off of the Cell Games arena and like roll him in the dirt, and then we transition into something there, and then like something happens and he can kick me back into the arena. Just anything that can like translate both to the players from like okay, cool, this has got to happen, I've got this situation to set up, to a viewership situation where it's like, oh, Cell just got kicked to the ground, oh, he just kicked Goku back. Like, any of that stuff, just a little bit more pizzazz or a little bit different approach in Fighters 2, I think would go just so huge, considering the leaps and bounds they already take with like just graphical styling and look and feel within modern fighting games.
I have a bit of a controversial take. Um, since the game released, we only got one stage edit, and it's called Galactic Arena. I just want to ask, why do we get that map instead of like an actual Dragon Ball map? Because the Galactic Arena doesn't have anything to do with Dragon Ball, I don't believe so. So why did it get added instead of so many different places you could see? Hyperbolic Time Chamber, Kami's Lookout, Tournament Power. There's so many things they could have added, and added Galactic Arena for some reason. I don't understand why they added that map instead of something Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I agree that is kind of weird. And here's a thought I just had. How would you guys feel about like different size maps, like where maps like where you feel more compressed in, or maps that you can't necessarily, rely on X whatever they add system mechanic wise later on. Um, I think that could potentially deepen the game and do some pretty interesting stuff to it for the uniqueness and variety of it all.
That
I,
is
I think that would be cool, yeah. But on the competitive level, I think people just ignore those maps and only play Cell games. Like I don't play Marvel, but I know on Marvel 3, like there's only one map that everybody plays on because the system changes or whatever the hell. Like that map is consistent, and people rather have inconsistent over a map looking cool. So I think that would all be cool. Like I would love to see that kind of stuff, but I don't think people will play it seriously.
No,
That's
if
fair.
it's gonna be implemented, it has to be implemented correctly. With Tekken, it's very obvious as to when you're on a specific stage or not. It is like, maybe matchup heavy, maybe a character prefers this stage with this, but if they are gonna do something like that, I want to see a committal option. I want to see them really go for it. Like, oh, this stage is tightened here, and this character is like really succeed, or maybe it affects the meta, and people are like a lot more intertwined with the stages, because it is another factor in like player and skill. Even like for in Tekken's case, a lot of the competitive scene, it just goes straight to random, and it's luck of the draw. But characters do have better matchups in better areas, and it really helps, and it really changes the pace of it. Because as much as I love Infinite Azur's soundtrack, I would 100% rather have them like have random stages where you never know what's gonna happen, or like where they're gonna run the fade, rather than just having Infinite Azure over and over and over again, like we see with Cell Games Arena and tournaments. And so, of course, that's also another factor in, like Gad said, in the competitive scene. Like, how is it going to affect it? And I really, honestly, like I said, I want to see some committal option. Maybe even had some stage hazards, or, something along the lines of MK where they're interactables. Maybe that'd be too much, and that wouldn't be in the spirit of Dragon Ball, but I want to see some changes to the stage. I want to see stages more involved in a lot of fighting games, actually. This is something that has really affected me. I'm sick and tired of seeing the grid in Street Fighter. Sick and tired of seeing, cell games in fighters. I'm sick and tired of seeing, freaking what other any or oh, like Gad said, Marvel 3's Snow Map. I'm sick
It was
of it,
like
bro.
Ponyard or something like that. I forgot the
Yeah.
name.
Yeah, I'm sick of it, bro. I want to see different stages. They have made a lot of fighting games have beautiful stages, bro. I'm talking like A1, and you will only ever see one of these because of competitive integrity. Does it affect gameplay? Optimization. Some stages just don't even
Yeah.
struggle and all
In
that
case
good
of
stuff.
fighters, it goes back to what we were talking about because of the netcode. A lot of people play cell games just because that game's lighter and causes less stress on the computer, on the connection, and that's the reason why everybody plays cell games. And you hate to see it, to be honest, because Dragon Ball is a beautiful game, like you're saying.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a balance that needs to be struck here between and I think it can be done, especially given like just modern systems and their capabilities and everything like that. Especially with how Strive is looking, because that game's just straight up beautiful. And I hope to see some of this map stuff. Like we're already kind of seeing it. I haven't looked at Strive too much, like in terms of gameplay, because I'm a Strive newbie. I'm a Guilty Gear newbie, and I kind of want to come in like just green as grass and go through that trial by fire. But yeah, we're already kind of seeing some of the stage transition stuff that we're talking about in Strive. And since I've already gone off on this slight little tangent, we are going to roll right into our first Strive event. It's coming up this Saturday, guys. It's going to be big, going to be awesome. What is it? PC Day 1? PC Day 1 event, right?
Day two.
Day 2,
It's PC
sorry.
Day 2. We're gonna give players a wonderful one and done day for getting situated. But yeah, guys, anybody in the stream, everybody on the dojo, be aware, be ready. This Saturday coming up, we're gonna have our very first Strive event, Strive to Survive, brought to you by the wonderful homies here in the dojo. We got our boys here. Gap, my wonderful Kotio helps me out wonderfully running the events, and then we got our boy Bear here on the on the back end side of things, making us the beautiful things that you could look at and all that good stuff. And dude, we are mad excited. First Strive event for the dojo. What do y'all want to see?
I just want to see hands exchanged, and I'm gonna do a quick shout out. I think after today's little dojo cast, I'm gonna actually whip up the first mock up for the Guilty Gear Strive Duels in the Dojo layout. So I'm gonna throw that out here because that is also something for Guilty Gear that the dojo is going to be doing. But back to the event, I want to see what everybody's got. It's going to be really great to come into a fighting game fresh. I mean, obviously, I'm going to be super fresh, but like it'll kind of be nice to get into it like at the onset of it. I mean, betas aside, like it'll be nice to have like a clean slate and to be able to really like grow with the community, especially if I really dig and vibe with it. Like it'll be really great to like be able to walk the path with people instead of like constantly feeling like I'm like staring at the shoulders of giants, if that makes sense.
I mean, it's still like, even though it's a new game, if you play Guilty Gear before, you know what you're getting into. Like, I play a lot of Core, like I said before, and I just know that I'm gonna hop in, I'm gonna pick Soul, bad guy, and I'm gonna know pretty much all the inputs from memory because of the older games. It's still gonna be a sort of a fresh experience just because everything is gonna be new. You got new characters, you got so many new cool stuff. But it definitely is not going to be the same feeling like playing Dragon Ball Fighters for the same time, where it's a whole new game. And yeah, I'm like, very excited to see the Dojo Takai. I think it's 12.5. We're gonna have the Strive tournament, and I'm gonna have to study because I gotta remember all the characters, how they work, so I can commentate properly.
Yeah, so that's something on our commentator side that we have to get aware of, how the game's working and all that good stuff. And honestly, man, I am so excited for a new fighting game. I'm a fighting game connoisseur, and dude, I played every fighting game under the sun. I played them for a good amount of time. Maybe I liked it, maybe I didn't, but I can't wait to see what's new. What's new and what's popping. Virtual Fighter, unfortunately, is having a little bit of a rough patch, so hopefully they get situated. And they came out right before Strive's release, which is gonna very much so affect Virtual Fighter. But hopefully that game gets to live on in its own right, in its own fighting game community and all that good jazz. But this Saturday, we're gonna have hopefully new stories to tell here in the dojo, new characters, new names, maybe even a new player that comes up, show us what's good and what he has and what he wants to be. But man, we've had so many wonderful players coming through, either for fighters or maybe even other games. I can't wait to see how they'll show themselves out here in the fighting game community overall. We've seen amazing players like Smuggles, our boy A1 Fighters player. Let's see how he's going to show up here in Guilty Gear. I've heard down the pipeline from our boy Smitty, the up-and-comer. He's a monster, so get ready. So, and that leads us to our final segment of the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we had over this last weekend, over the previous weekend, we had our Dojocast 12. Amazing tournament, an amazing time. And we had a lot of wonderful names show up, and we've had a lot of stories to tell. So let's go over, recap, talk about some of the events. What are some of the most memorable things you guys saw Dojocast 12?
K-Sack came back.
The K-Sack comeback, baby. You know, coming back in, the Shix-Man Shlong Long. He's a monster, bro. You know, we saw this man come back and really show us what's good. So he's really good.
On Dojocast 12, we had I believe 4 out of 6 champions on the bracket. You had Sekatsu, you had Sid Victor, who was just won the last Dojocast before 12. You had K-Sack, of course, and Sergeant Smuggles. So it was just so stacked. And it was even crazy. You got players that we have never heard about that just showed up and did even better than those. So it was just an incredible spectacle to watch and commentate, since I was there on the premium seats.
Yeah, man, you know what? One thing I love to see, though, I love to see our boy Hermano coming in hot. He got sent to the to an early grave in the losers bracket thanks to our boy K-Sack, a monster in his own right. But he was running the fade in the losers bracket, beating out one of the previous champions, Sid, as you said, had won the previous tournament, and he ran the fade. Hermano taking it over Sid, which is an amazing gameplay. And we saw
I believe he got 5th place, right? The same placing as Sergeant Smuggle. So that's amazing to see.
Yeah, he got really high up there. And as you mentioned, Sergeant Smuggles, that was his last Fighters tournament. He did unfortunately uninstall the video game after that. He has played his time, had his good vibes, had his fun. He's putting his 2 cents, and that was all we needed. And it was an amazing showing. Thank you very much, Smuggles, for having your very last Fighter show. It was amazing to watch, and I can't wait to see you in Guilty Gear. What are the big names? We had our boy, unfortunately, our long time Poxy.
Bro, come on, that's a low. Come on.
My man got dead last. Man, I keep telling him, right? I'd like to think of myself as Poxy's coach, and I keep telling him, bro, you are nothing compared to how you play when you're not in tournament. What's up with these tournament nerves? And he says, I don't know, dog. I gotta find the perfect high capacity. You know, he says he's gotta get a very specific high to go pop off on a tournament.
Bro, he beats the shit out of me whenever we play.
Yeah, he's a monster. I was just talking to him about it yesterday because I'm reviewing some upcoming footage, and like when he zones in and gets into just kill face mode, he is a monster. He will not let you go. He will correctly challenge all of your shenanigans, and I'll give a big shout out to Kite right now, because like Poxy straight up will reflect you on all of your shenanigans if you don't come correct when he is in the zone. So like you hate to see those results, but like like there. Kite trained this man, like, and it shows, especially when he gets in the zone. Like Poxy, big shout outs, because like you guys better watch out. If Poxy could figure out this tournament like nerve and mindset thing, the dojo should be scared. Like like real talk.
Hell yeah, you're right about that, man. Like you said, he's very intelligent, and it's crazy because I love the way that we have seen our players grow throughout. You know, specifically our boy Poxy here. You know, our boy doesn't like to bash. He doesn't like to block. He hates it. He hates it with a passion. And how did he grow? Super good reflex, super good mashes and challenges, super good awareness on situations where they're not plus, where it's not their turn, and he plays like that. If you are not A1 with your offense, he will run the fade, and I love to see it. And our boy Hermano as well, dude. I love that these personalized like growths have happened. I have also taught and played a lot with Hermano, And man, I gotta say, he plays his game very specifically. You know, he has some wonky combos that he loves doing, but he does those for a reason. And he also hates blocking, but he grew in a different strategy than Poxy over here. He's not as airtight, but what he does do is he gets in your head. He makes stupid decisions on purpose, and then he capitalizes on the like, wait, that was so weird. What the? And then he capitalizes on his opponent's like second thoughts, like, is he gonna do it now, is he not? And then he just like he takes his turn, and it's amazing. I love to see Hermano when he's on his good days, because he just like, it looks stupid, but trust me, he has big brain energy. He is moon brain. He's going crazy.
Big time, big time. I've
I,
seen
I
him.
had this. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, okay. I've seen him make Super Saiyan Vegeta, a character we literally talked about earlier, feeling like he has not as many tools as some of the later characters. I've seen Hermano when he gets in his opponent's head, make Super Saiyan Vegeta just look like he has all the tools in the world to deal with any situation. Like, it is absolutely mind blowing when he gets his set play going, guys. It's crazy. It's crazy. Be on the lookout for Hermano.
Yeah,
Sorry
Hamano
for
is
cutting
a
off
busy
that.
player that you need to study a lot to fight against. I've played against Hamano, bro, like for the 200, 300 matches or so. I love fighting the man, and until now, it's still so difficult to read that man. He just does whatever he wants and it works because he knows his characters and all that stuff. But yeah, that's definitely a player that just plays his own game and throws the what's what I look for, like traditionality out of the way. He plays how he wants to play and it works. And he can beat a lot of top players because of it. Not because, I'm saying, oh, Hermano only wins because of gimmicks, but because he knows how to play the game on a way that everybody else is going to have trouble adapting to. And it certainly comes up a lot in fighting games, learning how to adapt. And if you can't adapt, you're out of there.
Yeah, dude, adaptation's a big key role. And
Until you super him while he's doing a Jiren counter, he's just going to keep doing what
he will not care, dude. He will still keep countering. It's crazy. Oh, and speaking of which, on the opposite side of the coin, we had some two fundamentally sound players in our boys K-Sack and Tasty, the grand finalists. You know, fundamentals all the way. I'm a preacher of fundamentals, and these gentlemen really showed us what was good. Bro, Tasty coming in hot. Who was this man? He came in out of nowhere, right? But man, he show up. I can't tell you how excited I was to watch his play, because it was incredibly just straightforward and amazing. You were in the air, you better come down safe or I'm going to 2H your ass. Oh, this is -2. Yeah, but I spaced it. You got to be careful. Pay attention to what's happening. If you were not paying attention, Tasty was going to run away with it. And I mean, K-Sack even felt that personally with a bracket reset, you know? And so it's amazing play to see. But of course, K-Sack coming in hot, securing the grand finals over our boy Tasty. And again, the fundamentals on this man are insane. His offense, it can get a little funky sometimes, but otherwise, it's just super dash installs, maybe even a flow, maybe even a side switch here or there. I can't tell you how simple his baby offense is, but man, everybody got opened up on it. Bro, he did some crazy super jump IED float to like land right in the middle of you, so you and him didn't even know which side he was gonna land and hit you. And so I saw him hit Tasty twice with that, and I saw him early in bracket do it as well. That's one of his favorite moves, his classics. Careful with those left rights. K-Sack, of course, his football star cooler, man. Oh man, anyone want to take over on that?
When in doubt, 3H it out.
Hell yeah. I am 100% biased towards K-Sack's play because I play 2/3 of his team. So, but Hasty, I love to see the players that play base game characters because it feels like they've played the game since season 1 and they play the same characters since season 1 and they're masterful at it. I believe Tasty's team was Cell, Kabu, and Yamcha, I believe, something like that. But it was just all base game characters, and you love to see how much fundamentals he had. He didn't rely on any specific gimmicks for any character. He knew the character he was playing because he plays that character since the game launch. Is that what? I'm not sure if that's how it works, how that worked for him, but that's what it feels like for me.
Yeah,
just
dude.
Watching play.
His Cell felt day one. Cell, man, he's bringing up all the bags and the tricks. He's going sicko mode. Man, I love Tasty. I hope I see him more. I hope I see him more here in the dojo, coming in hot.
Yeah, definitely. It's always nice to have more Kid Boos around too. Just to like, and I'll be honest, Tasty made Kid Boo's 2H look like it was a significant button. Like, and most Kid Boo players just hate the 2H because yes, it hits both sides, but it's not Gotank's privileged or anything like that. So it was like Tasty's play, like that fundamental knowledge of like, oh, I see the super dash, you get 2H. Even with a character like Kid Boo, whose 2H can be kind of finicky, like that just tells you the level of like awareness and experience the player has in those situations, and you love to see it.
Speaking of experience, yo, Smitty coming up on the up and up, and unfortunately, with such a tight and stacked bracket, he did end up going 0-2 in the bracket, being sent to an early grave. But man,
Classic. O2 Smitty.
0-2
Classic.
Smitty, bro. But dude, he was on the up and up. You know, on the previous tournaments he came in. I know one of the point fives he got second place, right? Was it third? One of the two. He was really
On
up
the
there.
11.5, he got a second place. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. So he's really on the up and up. I remember this man showed up and he wasn't know what he was doing. He was struggling to figure out what character to play. I mean, he still is. You know, he's back on that, back on that character crisis. But it was a great time, and I see him going super far if he continues his fighting game career. Hopefully, he gets into more other ones. I invested him with a power for the grid. Hopefully, he gets on more on that. And then, of course, we have one of our not longtime participants, but a longtime denizen of the dojo, Cactopus, finally showing up for the tournament. You know, we did have some scheduling issues because his local is around the same time, but luckily not this one. And dude, it was amazing to see. He did really good. Like I said, beating the up and coming Smitty, sending him to an early losers bracket, and then losing to the previous champion Sid over in losers round 3. But he did amazing. He's a very good teacher. He knows the game, and he is very much so a good welcome member in the of the dojo.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those people that is always willing to teach and always willing to help out. Like he's definitely helped improve my game a lot, just from playing with him and hearing his thoughts and just bantering back and forth. Like Cactopus is one of the very very wonderful members of the FGC dojo, and it was great to actually see him be able to participate in Dojo Takai because he is a very solid player, and you hate to see scheduling conflicts. So hopefully we get to see him around some more.
Bro, and it's crazy. I'm looking at this bracket, and man, we had some vicious killers like our boy Neo. I know for a fact he would have gone far, but bro, he had KSAC round 2, and then he had our boy Thunder and losers round 1. Bro, these are some amazing players that are like our last place for Neo is this is a newer player, but I recognize him from another Discord, and he is good. But he had some vicious competition. Our boy Thunder, he also has the poxyitis of having struggling on the tournament showings, but he is an
Well,
amazing player in his own right. And
to his what am I looking for? Like to his defense, yeah, Thunder only got out of the tournament because he didn't show up. He got DQ'd because he took more than 10 minutes to show up. So
yeah,
I feel like
for
if
the
he was
losers round too.
yeah, I feel like if he was just paying more attention to the Discord, he would have gone a lot farther. And but I am biased. I love my boy Thunder.
Yeah, so that's very unfortunate for our boy. Ah, dude, oh man, and we saw an El Hermano on stream. How could you do it to him? How could you do it to yourself, Hermano? I believe it was losers round 5.
Yeah,
And we
around
saw it.
5.
Yeah, that he died with his Spark in the El Hermano special. A long time inside joke here in the dojo. If you die with Sparking, you're known as Hermano. And man, we saw it on stream at one of the biggest events that we've ever hosted. Hermano Y.
Feels bad, man.
That's what feels bad in it. But that's enough talking about the past. Let's get ready for the future. Ladies and gentlemen, strive to survive this Saturday coming up. Get ready. Be there. Be square. Get your Gay 1X characters. Get your souls. Get your Kais. Get your Anjis. Get them ready. Show up. Let's get some sick strive matches in and get ready for the next Dojo Kai. It's going to be bigger, better, stronger. Monthly tournament every first Saturday of the month. It is being moved around right now because of the point 5, but we'll get those situated. Every first Saturday of the month, Dojo Kai. This next one's also looking to be a bigger one. We're going to have 2 events coming in for Dojo Kai number 13. And that is, of course, Fighters and Strive. So, hope to see everybody there. Any last words for the stream, gentlemen?
I just want to say we might be seeing a special little event on upcoming if everything works out with all the moderators working together. So I'm just hoping everything works out and then we can disclose more information about that. But yeah, I'm super excited to see Doja 12.5. So much chaos is gonna ensue because it's gonna be new players, new characters, new experiences. But on Doja Kai 13, I expect to see a lot more refined play out of the Strive tournament, and obviously Dragon Ball FighterZ tournament. I still love that game. I will always love that game, so I'll love to see it.
And for me, I'm just super excited to get into Guilty Gear and grow in the fighting game experience and just the community and stuff. I'm really, really excited for this Saturday to just throw hands and learn as much as I can about this new entry in the Guilty Gear series, so I can start bringing my commentary to the table for it and just keep schmoving out here for the dojo, guys. And yeah, I'll toss it back to you, Kai.
That's going to be it for Dojocast, the number 3. Thank you to everybody who joined. Watch it on YouTube next week. Get ready. We got so much good stuff coming at you from the dojo. Let us know what discussion topics you want to know in the comments. We'll see you guys in the next dojo event. Peace.
Later,
Bye.
dudes.